We're going to be looking at how to turn any MIDI instrument sound into a scary sound. So here are the three main things we're going to be looking at. Number one, make the octave of the sound really, really high or really, really low. Apply effects to the sound to make it sound more eerie and strange, and then edit the automation of the sound to make the sound crescendo or diminuendo, evoking it creeping in or out. So when you're in GarageBand, we've just loaded up a normal default electric piano. If you take it really down the octaves, already it starts to sound a bit more weird and strange. Really high. On its own, not too scary. So let's just keep it to that for the moment. Okay, so right there, I'm going to just quantize it into time. So they're on the first beat of each bar. So something like this. So we've got that really low pitch sound. If we close the instruments here and open up this window here, we can then apply some different effects to it. We're going to turn off the metronome for the moment and just have a listen to this. If you click on the plugins, we can then experiment with some different sounds. We might want to apply some distortion to it. Sounds like this. Starting to sound a lot more aggressive. If you push that too much, you might need to bring down the volume so it doesn't peak. Output down there. Alright, I like that. You can also try with and without. That's with. This is without. So it's a good way of checking how it sounds. If you don't like it, you can just turn off the plug-in there. So we're going to add in some more stuff. We're going to add in reverb. The wet and the dry are controlling how much of the actual sound is affected by this effect, this reverb. So we're going to turn up the wet level and bring down the dry. You might want to experiment with some of the others. Again, turn it off, hear how it sounded before. Now with. Okay, so maybe bring that down just slightly. Alright, and the last thing we're going to try, of the main things here I want to try, is the delay. So we're just going to experiment with some echo. Let's turn off the loop so we can just hear how it sounds. Now if we want to change the number of repetitions the delay has, we can then experiment with this. Bring down the dry. Got a big resonance there now. Starting to get a real effect. Let's listen without. Let's listen with. lots of other effects you can experiment with, different amps, different pedals you can put it through, different filters, you can modulate the sound with different pitch shifts, and different filters you can put it through here, okay? So now we're going to move on to the automation. So I'm just going to copy this by holding down Option or Alt on your keyboard, holding down Option on mine, and I'm now the keyboard's not open. Command K opens up the keyboard. When that's closed, I'm going to press A for automation on the keyboard, okay? I'm now going to be able to manipulate the different parts of the track, okay? So I'm going to play around with the volume here. You can see this, the track's gone dark, A for automation. We can now double click and these dots come up. Now if you double click, you can then manipulate the volume of this track. This volume is just applying to this one track. So if we have other new tracks in here and they're playing along, that's going to stay at the normal volume because we haven't applied that to it, okay? See that distorted track we've played around with has really overpowered this new track we've added in. So we might want to bring that down. We might want to apply a bit more of a control of this track, or we might want to bring down that distortion we had on that original track because it is quite powerful, yeah? So we might want to bring down the output or some of the drive on this track. So let's revisit it again with this track, hear how it sounds together. You can also manipulate, I've just muted this track so we can concentrate on this one. You can also manipulate some of these different things. So we've just put echo, reverb and distortion on there. You can change that drive and different characteristics of the effects over time. So for instance, the drive, we could start really low and then we could increase it over time. Double clicking, increasing it like that. If we delete the volume so you can hear how that's sounding, this is the volume all at the same level. This sounds completely different now to the original electric piano. So you can apply these effects to any track and make it sound quite appropriate for a horror film. So really, originally we're looking at using strings, choir, piano, these kind of instruments to create our piece, but we can take any of these sounds and then apply these effects to them. We could look at guitar, we could look at different world instruments, apply these effects and make them sound quite spooky and eerie.